Because there's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He says, like, you're gonna find out, like how I'll handle this. Like, and that's an attorney want to be combative with another attorney. That's not like your publicist would say those.
Right. One time walking in the studio, and it was like a small gap, and bleak beans. Everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now. Just flood it, put out a lot of music because 50 Cent is coming.
Behind the scenes, 50 Cent reportedly aimed to include footage and testimony linking Jay-Z directly to serious misconduct involving Diddy. Not mere rumors or industry gossip, but allegations suggesting knowledge, involvement, and potential cover-ups. Later, 50 Cent confirmed the existence of this footage. He didn't deny it or backtrack. He stated plainly that he has it.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty.
Sources close to the situation say the footage is significant because it allegedly shows Jay-Z was aware of illegal activity happening around him and chose to do nothing. Even more, it implies he may have benefited from remaining silent while others suffered. If true, that's not just morally questionable. It could be criminal.
Because he was my son.
He died because of your
He was targeted because he's my son.
Okay, like
he was working on his EP. I bought Philadelphia for him so he didn't have to sign to a company because I knew what it was going to do. He interned at Rock Nation. And they approached him to sacrifice me. I saw his death when he was 19. I moved us here to stop it, to prevent it, to avoid it. They take them anyway to show you what the harm is. Giovanni, his death is why I do what I do.
Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, echoed these claims, saying Jay-Z and Diddy were far closer than Jay-Z's legal team later suggested. Not casual acquaintances or distant business partners, but close enough, he alleges, to know what was happening behind closed doors. That's where the prison talk comes in. According to these allegations, Jay-Z didn't simply overlook warning signs. He allegedly knew, allegedly stayed silent, and allegedly allowed others around him to be paid off or pressured into silence to keep matters buried. If proven, critics argue that would move beyond moral failure into potential obstruction or conspiracy. When Jaguar Wright began making similar claims publicly, her interviews were reportedly taken down quickly. She continued speaking out against Jay-Z, and around that time her son was tragically shot and killed, an event she has referenced in interviews, though no official connection has been established.
It was never investigated. Hype was never questioned. Lenny Kravitz made a statement, and it was never publicized. She was unconscious. She didn't choose to get on that plane. There were phone calls made. There are witnesses who signed NDAs. Why would you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement about a plane crash and what happened leading up to it? Please, someone answer that.
Do you feel like
why the fuck would you need to sign? A nigga don't ask about a plane crash if it was accidental.
Do you feel like...
Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Work with me here in this moment.
And I'm going to ask you.
A plane crash should be accidental.
Should be.
Why would any testimony about what happened leading up to it need to be covered under a non-disclosure agreement if there wasn't foul?
Clips vanished. Conversations disappeared. The same cleanup reportedly happened with the documentary. Now, however, it appears 50 Cent is pulling back the curtain on the past and allegedly bringing in Jaguar right to expose what he claims is a history of serious wrongdoing. One of the first accusations centers on alleged complicity in the death of Aaliyah. Whenever Jaguar Wright discusses what happened, she keeps returning to a single haunting question. Why was it never properly investigated? Not partially, not quietly, but not at all.
Carter, now I'm going to ask you, why would non-disclosure agreements need to be signed for an accident?
Hey.
There were over 25 non-disclosure agreements cashed out and recorded regarding the death of that beautiful girl and every other human being that died on that plane with her. What the fuck?
Oh.
What would you need? A nigga don't ask for that. And Diddy had Hype Williams the balls. Belly was a money pit.
Without question. Yeah.
And Jay-Z got 10 free videos out of Williams. And Hype didn't work for free.
In Jaguar Wright's view, NDAs only appear when someone wants to keep the full story hidden. She claims that after Aaliyah's death, more than 25 NDAs were signed and paid out. According to her, these agreements control what people saw, what they heard, and what happened in the lead up to the fatal flight. And once again, she asks the pressing question, why? Then, she brings Jay-Z into the picture.
I want you to think about this. Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Allegedly.
In Jaguar's view, none of that was a coincidence. She believes favors were traded, silence was rewarded, and people with knowledge were paid to stay quiet. That, she argues, is why Jay-Z's name is rarely mentioned when Aaliyah's death is discussed publicly.
It's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both fucked Aaliyah. They shared so much in common. You know? And then there was a falling out. And that's like it never happened. Whoever talks about best of the both worlds, best of both worlds. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about this shit.
Nobody talks about that project.
That nigga swept that smooth under the rug.
Why?
We know why.
You know what? I got a better question.
Yeah.
How valuable is a Biggie Smalls verse?
Yeah.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died. It's been over 25 years. Fucking Puffy has been making money on that boy's name longer than he lived. It supported all of Bad Boy. His catalog. Clearly, a Biggie Smalls verse is very valuable. Am I wrong? Does anybody disagree with me?
No, that's facts.
So then what the fuck happened to the commission? What happened to that album?
Right.
It was recorded. It was being mixed and mastered upon Biggie's death. It was supposed to have came out that summer after Biggie's album because Biggie's album was slated. He died a week and a half before his album came out. Then the commission was supposed to come out, and that was supposed to be his exit from Bad Boy. And then starting his own company. So tell me something. And this ain't me being an asshole. I think everybody that knows Sean Carter knows that he will slump anyone in any relationship for $1.
Her core argument is simple but serious. If everything truly was an accident, there would have been no need for secrecy, legal silence, or financial payouts. She points out that Jay-Z's career surged dramatically afterward, just as questions seemed to vanish, which is why she believes his role warrants real investigation. After the deaths of Tupac and Biggie, the battle for the top spot in rap narrowed to Nas and Jay-Z. According to Jaguar, once that shift happened, everything began breaking in Jay-Z's favor. She claims Nas slowly unraveled and was pushed out of the spotlight, while Jay-Z continued to rise, album after album, deal after deal, until it felt like Jay-Z was everywhere. Around that same period, Jay-Z was also working closely with R. Kelly, collaborating on multiple records and even touring together. Jaguar alleges they shared a close connection to Aaliyah as well. In her view, these weren't separate circles or coincidences. They were all part of the same interconnected world.
You know, like if I'm trying to sell something, him and his lawyers, Alex Shapiro, putting a false lawsuit on me, like like that, devaluing anything that I have or trying to sell. But, or even down to like, we were selling Rockware, right, for like $400 million or whatever. I was gonna make $40 million. And right before Tommy Hilfiger signs the papers, he makes an announcement saying that he's not fucking with Rockware, that he's only fucking with S. Carter. The whole shit up. And I just feel like he did that only because I was gonna make $40 million. Like he just couldn't see, like they get so mad if I'm gonna make money off them. Like every time I could have made a really big check, he's always stepped in and intentionally fucked it up. Every time. Listen, don't ask me, ask the rest of the industry. Like, that's why I got the fuck away. I mean, one of the reasons. Like Jay, I like the way I would look at it, like if you could compare him to like a character now, I'd say he's like the Penguin. He's like ruthless like that with his friends or people that help him. At least that's how it kind of rolled out.
She also highlights how Jay-Z reportedly moved on from those who helped him early in his career. Jaguar points to his split with Dame Dash, arguing that the way their partnership ended revealed just how far Jay-Z was willing to go to protect his money and maintain control.
And then they brought Rich Harrison in, and you know, kind of think it's crazy right now. She liked posing with him in pictures for Page 6. Aaliyah didn't. She fell in love with Dame. And Aaliyah's gone, and, you have to start asking yourself questions after being in this business for this long. If you're a halfway intelligent person, when do you start questioning how lucky some motherfuckers keep getting?
Right.
Yeah.
Is it really a conspiracy if the same person keeps benefiting off the same kind of tragedy over and over and over again? So to answer your question, I'm sure he's always going to be a billionaire, and I'm sure he's got great things to happen. I mean, look, he's got the job with the NFL. He's hooking all his friends up with the halftime shows. I mean, think about it. Think about the halftime shows. Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, all Rock Nation. Now Rihanna, and then we had the whole LA thing, which of course he was involved in that, and then they pulled Mary J. Blige off to, you know, make sure she got that money for Kendall, and you know, they had that whole moment, you know, but all he's doing is using his friends and the people that he fucks with, or at least the people that signs his non-disclosure agreements. He keeps getting them the Super Bowl gigs. So I mean, like, he's doing all kinds of stuff, you know, and I do not begrudge him. It's just, if you got to do the kind of things that he's done to get where he's gotten, well, fuck it. I don't.
She then ties it back to Aaliyah. Jaguar claims Aaliyah's death occurred during a period when several music careers were in flux. She notes that shortly after Aaliyah passed, Jay-Z's empire continued to grow while others gradually faded from the spotlight. According to her, when you've been in the industry long enough, patterns become clear. Some names weather every storm, and Jay-Z is one of them.
Jaguar Wright explained how Rihanna was sold to Jay-Z at 16 years old. She explained how it was super sketchy that Rihanna got brought to America at only 16 years old without any parental supervision, and how she auditioned for Jay-Z at 3 o'clock in the morning. She explained how it didn't make sense that Rihanna's parents would let her fly by herself after just meeting Evan Roberts all the way to America to meet with Jay-Z in the middle of the night. And she alleged that Rihanna's dad got a $500,000 payout for letting this happen. She alleged since this was all out of the blue, Rihanna would have had to flown on a private plane to get from Barbados to America because she wouldn't have had a visa and her parents were not around with her to fly to America. And Rihanna even explained how Jay-Z would not let her leave until she signed the recording contract, and the label locked her in the office until 3 a.m.
You've gone through some big changes since you've been signed at Def Jam. Can you tell me what are the biggest changes you've gone through from St. Michael's, Barbados until now you being a superstar?
Well, one of them for sure is being away from my friends and family. After growing up around my mom and all my friends for 17 years and then moving to a big city with no one because all my family and friends are still in Barbados. So after moving to a big city with, you know, basically around strangers, that was the hardest thing for me to cope with at first.
Are you lonely sometimes?
I wasn't lonely, but I really do miss my family and my friends.
And a lot of people have speculated this for years about Rihanna because people found it super weird. Right before Jay-Z signed Rihanna, he was working heavily with a 16-year-old Tierra Marie who signed to Def Jam by L.A. Reid. And after a while, there was rumors circulating all over that Tierra Marie and Rihanna actually had a fallout because Rihanna's career skyrocketed and Tierra Marie got let go from Def Jam. And allegedly, Tierra Marie is the Jane Doe that is suing Diddy and L.A. Reid for SA when she was just 16 years old.
Jonathan Hay, who worked in public relations at the time, backs this up with his own experience.
According to Jaguar Wright, the story around Jay-Z and young artists is something few people dare to speak about openly. She points to Rihanna as one of the clearest examples. Jaguar claims that when Rihanna first entered the industry, she was still underage. Yet many treated her like a fully formed business asset rather than a teenager in need of protection. She insists this wasn't accidental. Powerful figures in Jay-Z's circles, she alleges, actively guided Rihanna through rooms, parties, and situations that were completely inappropriate for someone her age.
Almost blacklisted.
Oh no, absolutely blacklisted. They didn't tell you were blacklisted. It's just the jobs that you used to get easy. All of a sudden, there were other people. There was a new direction. There were restaurants you used to eat at that were always sold out. Your table wasn't available. It is the shunning.
Yeah, exactly.
Social shunning. And then when people that you know who you are, start talking about you behind your back in ways that they never did. And all of a sudden, their career begins to elevate.
Yeah.
It's social engineering. The sad thing about it is, every last rapper that you said fucked you over also happens to be a government informant.
Yeah.
Why would you think that you had a chance against these people when everything that they do, the government seems to ignore? It seems like they were untouchable because you didn't know that they had a deal.
Right.
They had permission to act like assholes and never have to be accountable for it, or so the government said, so they get to fuck over people like you and people like me and people like Aaliyah and people like Rihanna, people like Lauryn Hill, people like Rakim, people like Nas. You know what I'm speaking.
Yeah. But even back in 2005, when we had spoke to the FBI, I didn't think of her like.
See if you were willing to testify against him, so they would know whether or not they were going to have to move you around.
Jonathan Hay, who worked in public relations at the time, supports this narrative with his own account. He says many people around Rihanna genuinely believed she was older than she actually was. According to him, she was taken to clubs, events, and industry spaces where identification was required. It wasn't until one night, when she couldn't produce ID, that people realized she was only 17. By that point, Jaguar claims the damage was already done. She alleges that Rihanna's original team, the people who truly care about her well-being, were gradually pushed aside. New handlers took control, and anyone who started asking uncomfortable questions found themselves quietly cut off. Jonathan describes it as the industry's unspoken method of silencing dissent. No official blacklist, just fewer calls, lost opportunities, closed doors, and phones that suddenly stop ringing.
There at the beginning of her career, who took such great care to get her there. She shouldn't have been stripped from her team.
Right.
From her protection, no different than a rose. They went into the garden and they stripped the thorns and they pulled it out, and then they've been ripping petals off piece by piece, year for year.
Correct.
Let's change that.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
For her.
Yeah.
And for every other child girl like her.
And you're doing. Listen, you're doing the same thing that Dream Hampton did when she laid out the R. Kelly case for the prosecutors to finally, after 20 years, go and charge him.
Dream is one of Jay-Z's girls too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the way that she
to do that right.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to take him out?
Her to do Surviving R. Kelly and Bringing Me To. Just like he loaned his lawyer Spiro to Tupac's family so that they can get to the bottom of his unalivement. As if he doesn't already.
Jaguar also claims that Jay-Z filmed music videos in foreign locations involving young models, and that his powerful connections ensured no questions were asked. According to her, silence was enforced through contracts, NDAs, and money. She argues that children and young artists are among the biggest victims in the music industry. Once they sign a contract, they're no longer seen as people. They're treated like products. In her view, Rihanna was one of those artists.
Yeah, you got him in trouble. See, you got him in trouble because Jay-Z came here.
Because you think it was on this show which put it out there.
Yeah, you did. Because he was saying nothing like that any other place. Do you know him to be aggressive or to start? He said something about me first on your show, Tim.
It must have gone over my head at the time.
Yeah, all right, well, look. What happened is...
What happened?
You was talking to him about the Kanye West.
He was actually sitting where you're sitting right now.
Right. About the Kanye West thing. And I said at that point that Kanye wouldn't have came and took no trophy from it. And Jay goes, let's get it straight. Nobody's afraid of 50 Cent. Let's be
put
clear.
It out there.
Nobody's afraid of 50 Cent.
Put it out there random from nowhere.
Yeah, but really he should have been making it clear with you.
Which he didn't.
He didn't make it clear with you that he's not a punk. See, At that point, his safe presentation, he's not identifying with the transition and difference in the perception of Jay-Z. Now he's really safe, and people feel comfortable with him because they know he's not going to do anything inappropriate or try not to. Is inappropriate. Meanwhile, when he's saying he's not afraid of 50 Cent, why would you have to make that clear when no one's ever asked me if I'm afraid of Jay-Z?
It was random at the time.
Yeah.
Came from nowhere.
He probably didn't mean it.
How did you feel about it?
It was interesting. It just was something to address because it was public. If it was something that was being said behind the scenes, I would have probably said, well, anybody that would openly be afraid of somebody would be a complete punk where I'm from.
Jaguar claims that Jay-Z often found himself in positions where he could have protected people. Yet instead, those around him were removed, silenced, or replaced, all to keep careers moving and money flowing. Anyone who got in the way, she says, was quietly pushed aside. Now here's the context. Everything 50 Cent has been doing lately, this talk about exposing Jay-Z, actually stretches back years. Much of it stems from how Jay-Z treated 50 when he was just starting out in the industry. That treatment stayed with him and eventually grew into serious resentment. To see the full picture, you have to go back about 16 years to when 50 appeared on Tim Westwood's show, openly discussing the beef, the industry, and yes, Jay-Z. During the conversation, 50 broke it down. Jay-Z came across as calm, safe, and in control. But then 50 said something really unusual.
Like his presentation is really safe. Even the glasses. What do glasses represent? Intelligence, right? A nerd, maybe? 4 eyes. What are some of the things that come along with you being a nerd? Like, don't hit a guy with 4 eyes. He doesn't want any trouble. Makes you more approachable, doesn't it? Alongside the past, the Beyonce past. I'll be honest, I mean, Tim, you're aware of international. You are like flex here. I've always said that. I always felt like that, right? And there ain't never been no 50 Cent Jay-Z conversations questioning whether there was a competition between the two.
50 went on to lay out the bigger picture. On the international stage, there was no real competition. His records were selling millions. His reach was global. Jay-Z, despite all the hype in America, was different in energy, skill, and impact. He had built a reputation as the safe, smart, strategic player, someone people trusted and felt comfortable around. But for 50, that calm, collected exterior always had something that bothered him. The way Jay-Z carried himself while 50 was still grinding, hustling to make his mark in the game.
Jay-Z recently said something crazy about he said nobody's scared of 50 Cent.
I think he would have done that if that was 50 Cent. No one's scared of 50 Cent. I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
I think it was kind of taken out of context a little bit, but what do you think about it?
I don't think it was taken out of context. No, I think the guy who was talking to him made him feel like a punk. You see what I'm saying? So he had to say, yo, nobody scared of 50. Let's get this clear. Nobody is scared of 50. But I'm not the issue. Him making you feel like a punk is the issue. And at the end of the day, I look at it and people don't assess themselves. Even really intelligent people. Jay's a smart guy. You know what I'm saying? He'll analyze other people and other things that they're doing and not actually look at what's happening to him and his transition and difference. But right now, he's in a real safe space. He created this real safe aura. This is why people walking on the stage and why shit is happening like that. A lot of it wouldn't have been like that if he actually dealt with his issues himself. See, he's a piece of work, man. He always put somebody in front of him. When Jada came for him, he put Beanie in front of him. And Beanie went back and forth with Jadakiss. When Cam came for him, he put True Life in front of him. And they went back and forth. And he just didn't compete.
Him and Alicia are supposed to be doing a song again at the AMAs, but they're going to have like 20 security members on the stage making sure nobody bum rushes the stage.
Makes sense.
That's crazy. I think everyone was kind of like just going crazy that night anyway at the MTV Awards.
Yeah, but that's not... Nah, everyone wasn't. They just you gotta feel comfortable enough to do that. Like, see, don't get fucked up. I'll fuck up. You do some shit like that, and I'll fuck up. Let me go on record with that shit, because I ain't really with all that dumb shit. I think everybody already know that. And they know, like, they already know. But she wouldn't have walked up there no matter how hot your record is. She'd enjoyed that shit from the seat, like everybody else. Like, yo. Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't have walked up there. You know fucking better. Like, it's not that comfortable when I'm around. You know I'm coming with something that can make the response right away if they do something crazy. Right? How you gonna be doing what I'm doing and be comfortable if you ain't got no response?
And that's why 50 Cent continues going after Jay-Z even years later. It's not just about competing for the spotlight. It's about exposing the games Jay played, the power moves he made, and how he treated people trying to make it in the same industry. On top of that, there are allegations of serious wrongdoing that add another layer to the story. What do you think will happen next? Share your thoughts in the comments.